Alrighty, welcome everyone. I probably shouldn't have started talking while the tea was pouring. That was a stupid idea. It's gonna sound like water moving the whole time. Immediately, I thought I was gonna do a whole suspenseful intro. It was like, alrighty, everyone, we're here for the sad times where because sad shit just happened. That's dispelled. Hi, I'm an idiot, and I'm bad at this. Welcome, welcome. Come along for the ride. I'm Tiabu. I'm here for Kimetsu no Yaiba, the Entertainment District arc, and I had a question about that, which I think I'll fold the thing I recorded earlier today in like here. All right, I'm starting hella early. I haven't even drawn a thing yet, but I'm gonna watch my boy get murked. This is how I pregame. This is how we get started. Yeah. All right, here we go. Hey, bro, stop fighting me. We gotta fight forever. Kyojuro. Oh, the subs are super different. Yeah, fuck you! How much suffering? He's such a good boy. Nah. Oh, yeah. Woo! That's a scene, man. That is a fucking scene. Set your heart ablaze indeed, Rangok-san. Fuck! Ah! Why? He's the best boy. No! Okay, well, that's that. So, I just watched through the sort of climactic moments of the Demon Slayer movie. That's pretty good. That's pretty good stuff. The flaming dragon whirl, CG shot, 3D camera move, track it around, whoa, bam, pa, snap, explode, pow. Ooh. And then the rest of the conflict happens in this really intimate space where they're surrounded by fire on all sides and like so well lit from all sides. Speaking of which, I don't have all my lights on. Well lit from both sides. And they're so close. It says something else. It says something about the mental state. It's like they're really quite close in this moment. Leaning into the ideas that we have around becoming a monster to fight monsters, leaning into something like that. It says something like this fanaticism, this willingness to die for what you believe in. It's sort of the same on both sides. It's sort of, to use the show's term, it's sort of demonic in its own way. Spent a lot of time talking about this yesterday in Gundam. It's a weird thing to bring in, but I'm going to bring it in because I think it's important. What we talked about was belief, like real wholehearted, strongly held belief. And that it is the absolute knowledge that what you are doing is correct. That is the necessary substrate for enacting incredible evil. It's a weird idea. But if I phrase it differently, I think it'll make perfect sense to you. The greatest atrocities, the greatest losses of human life, for the worst reasons, have at the individual level been for grand ideals, like loyalty, like seeing it through to the end, even if it's not right, even if it gets me killed. I'll see this through to the end. It's my duty. But duty can be corrupted. And loyalty isn't always properly placed. So we have to be very wary. We, all of us, self-included. We have to be very wary, especially when we know that what we're doing is right. Perhaps it's that the more certain you are that what you're doing is right and necessary and just, the more important it is to be able to step back and look at it from all angles and make sure you're not just enveloped in the flames of a certain kind of self-justifying hatred or vengefulness. Because most of the great atrocities of our recent history have not been caused by people scheming and rubbing their hands and twirling their mustaches and going, golly, how could I cause the most harm today? They're caused by people who want to protect themselves and protect their families, protect their nation perhaps, or their race. Their ideology justifies it. Because you, on the other side of the firing squad, you're the threat. And I know that this is true, deep down in my bones. So sure, I'll push the button and fire the giant laser, or drop the bomb, or pull the trigger. Because I know that it's the right thing to do. I have to protect the people to whom I am loyal from you. Monster, demon, enemy, threat. But the lines are not so clear, are they? They shouldn't be. Not if your eyes are open. The lines get blurry when you open your eyes. You can see this in storytelling. When it's done effectively, you get blurred lines. Even Kimetsu, as obvious and explicit as it is about the nature of evil in this world, there are demons. They like killing people. They do it mostly for fun and potentially for their own sustenance. There's also a main character who's an unwilling demon and working against her nature, right? Right, okay. So we sort of split that down the middle and we cross that line, we blur it a little bit. It's not quite black and white. It's not quite obvious. That's important. That's important. Cool scene. But I love how close that moment with the multiple slashes is. It's so tight. The camera work is so tight around the characters. They're enveloped in the flames of Rengoku's big esoteric art, and it's like, so happy together. Right. Silly. Silly. All right, that got me thinking in the space of demons and demon slayers, and we're gonna move on to the entertainment district arc. I wonder, is that I'm not sure. Has that been like toned down in the title? Because when you say entertainment district, I think red light district because the time and the place and the thing. But maybe it's just carnivals and festivals. It seems like it's a red light district, right? This is okay. That'll be interesting. Kimetsu and most shonen don't futz with that too much, but maybe they'll get to futz with that a bit. I can imagine that in such a district, our young shonen might have a time, especially the idiot and the sleepy one, or the idiots. They might have themselves a good time. Cool movie. Weird movie. Cool scene. All right, I'll leave that there, and I gotta go finish a bunch of stuff and get my lights on and turn things on and download the episode, and then I'll be ready, and we'll go from there. So that should have happened. Whatever happened there has happened. I'll decide what I edited, what parts of that I edit in, because I don't know if any of it is salvageable. It'd be so funny if I was just like, and here, and nothing happens. I'm just waiting. So I'm curious, what the entertainment district means, because my mind goes to the red light district, and that sounds very interesting, especially because we got a bunch of boys, especially the boar one, and also the blonde one, who might have a time with that. And I wonder if that will play in any way into the nature of the enemies. Is there a sexy, there's at least one sexy girl, Kizuki, one sexy girl Moon, so maybe she'll be the enemy of the arc. That would make sense, right? And then, well, if we're folding in, the spider situation was all about family. Like 2000 Fast, 2000 Furious, the movie that they'll eventually make when they eventually make it will just be about family. And one of my favorite jokes from Lou Wilson is, yeah, we're watching 2000 Fast, 2000 Furious. Oh, yeah, what's it about? Oh, family, mostly. Yeah, one person looks at another person and says, family, and then something crazy happens. Oh, wonderful. But the whole spider thing was about family and twisted, corrupt families and all that jazz. That's one big checkbox of the things that you gotta get ironed out. Well, you go to a red light district, I'm forging a full falsehood. Like, I got no grounding for any of these suppositions, but I'm going to do them anyway, because it's really important that I... Tiamu found dead today, having choked on his own spittle. It's important that I get out my thoughts and expectations beforehand, because they end up very often being very fun to look back at and very useful sometimes to look back at. Sometimes in like a weird way where I'm like, how did I know that? I didn't know that. That's weird. And sometimes in a, that guy's an idiot. I mean, it's me an hour ago, but he's an idiot. He didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. Well, okay, so entertainment district, red light district, that's where my mind goes. And then sexy Kizuki is the enemy. And then, well, you play with that. If you have a sexy Kizuki as an enemy, you use the sexuality of the Kizuki as part of the framework of the thing. In our movie that we just watched, Kaza uses Rengoku's drive to strength as the means of attempting to tempt him over to demonicness. There's no chance it's going to work, because Rengoku's drive to strength is founded in dutifulness and the behaviors that he believes he must do, not in his own Blood Knight quest for vengeance or murder or whatever. So it doesn't work. He doesn't just want power for the sake of power. He wants the power to protect those that are important to him, or the power to fulfill his duties as a Hashira. Or even in the smallest, or maybe the biggest sense, the power to keep his word. Because he gave his word that no one on this train would die, in some ways, and he sees it as his duty to fulfill that. And so, like many great protagonists before him, he wants not power, but the strength to protect. Power for a purpose. Because power without purpose corrupts absolutely. Yeah, there's some problems when you get some power. Turns you into a fucking demon. Truly. Well, one of the ways that people garner power is via sexual stuff. One of the other ways that people garner power is through familial stuff. One of the ways is through hierarchical, authoritarian, structured power. So we could have a government arc or something like it. I don't fucking know. These things are part of human nature. And I think so far I've only seen the outlines of this in Kimetsu. But every story well thought is a journey through the subconscious. It's a journey through the author's own mind. And it follows a part of the heroic monomythic stories. Sort of. Because Japan has different monomyths. They're not monomyths. Different myths than the West does. But if we track it back, if we walk all the way back to the beginning of Kimetsu no Yaiba, here you are in the state of nature, the state of status quo. Things are pretty okay. You're poor, you live in the forest, you drag charcoal around and you sell charcoal and it barely works, and Your family has a lot of kids and one mom and one older brother who's Tanjiro, and you got a bunch of kids that you're trying to work to take care of, and there's no father present, and it's a tough situation, but it's filled with the laughter and love of the people around you. There's all this, it's a mix. It's a mixed bag. It's life, though. And then tragedy strikes, because tragedy always strikes, because we're humans and we're mortal, and we live in a world that's governed by the law of entropy, and things fall apart. It's what they do. It's what they're there for in some weird ways. And you have to step up and take responsibility for what you can protect and salvage of what used to be. And as soon as you take that responsibility, immediately you're a part of something bigger than you. You become a part of the Demon Slayer Corps for good reason. There are reasons why they don't want you in there, and the reasons why they do want you in there, and they're a little weird about your moralizing love of your sister, who they would kind of like to just murder, because that would be better for everybody, probably. And then we start to go through some journeys. And we start to fight some things that are... Well, they're characters in the story, but what's a character in a story? It's a representation of an idea, usually. Even if the author tries really hard to just be like, this is just a character in a story, it ends up taking on more meaning than that. It ends up being a representation of an idea, and the author of Kimetsu has no inclination to attempt to distance the characters in this story from being ideals or ideas. They represent what they represent. That's part of why we think of it as sort of a simple story. We're like, well, yeah, it's just a family made of weird spider things, and they're creepy, and it's simple. I get it. Then you start to unpack it, and it's like, well, that's a pretty complicated idea that you've come to. Is like, well, these spider demons represent a family taken in the worst direction, and still they represent family, though. And so someone who's had their family ripped away from them and cares about it deeply might react in a set of complicated ways to a bad family. Because family is, well, it really pulls at Tanjiro. But that's a bad family. Duty is another one, and we'll see how that goes. And if there's something on that front with, like, corruption of duty, or a turned pillar, or something horrible like that. But that's later down the road. What we have here is entertainment, broadly, or probably, I think, sexual entertainment. So, the underbelly of society. An important part of all of us. Something that we don't like to have brought out into the light very often. We like to think of ourselves as these, thoughtful, rational, thinking individuals, not ruled by animal instincts, and yet, that's not the case. That isn't true at all. We're fucking idiots. And there's tension inherent in that space, and so it's an interesting space that we're going to enter right after the death of the most flaming fucking boy, Rengoku. The most dutiful, the most honorable, and the beloved by all of the other Hashiras. It's like, he's the bulwark, he's the first ideal. Alright, somebody's hammering some shit outside. You might hear sounds in the background. I apologize for that. I can't make my whole neighborhood be silent. Nor do I want to put enough foam up around my room to make a difference. Rengoku's death strikes me as like a wake-up moment for all of the other Hashira. This guy, who almost all of them admired to some extent, thought of as a strong fighter, as well as a good guy, likable. Really an ideal of a Hashira, gets killed unsurreptitiously, with backup. So it could be any of them, right? So I drew a drawing. Moons. There are 6. I know there are 12, but there are 6. And then there's the one in the center, and that's Muzan's eye. And I know that linguistically, there are actually, like, I think there are 6 waning and 6 waxing moons, are like the lower moons and the upper moons. In this case, they're waxing and waning across the 6, because there aren't 12 anymore. He ate a bunch of them. Whoops. And then there are the pillars down below, and there are 9, or there were, and 1 is falling. Bing. And it's just like all the others. They're stacked like dominoes. And that seems to be about right. So, we go from the greatest tragedy to a place of entertainment, and we'll have to see what our slayers come up against. Because there are a whole lot of traps, and tricks, and evils, and monsters lurking in the cities. And we're going to be heading to the cities. We've been fighting out in the countryside. We've been fighting out on mountaintops. We've been fighting in towns too. But now we're going into the bustle of the city. And that brings up something else. We're in a time of great change and transition in this story. The West is coming. The locomotive is part of that. The West is already here. It's already materially and dramatically restructuring all of society in every way. And that's a part of the underlying structure of the story, is like grand shifts are occurring under our feet, and how do we react to that? Nezuko in some ways is emblematic of that. Weirdly, you have to make a couple of steps to get there, but she's the result of both sides, right? She's a noble demon. She's both things, a combination of things. Because things fall apart, that's the nature of the universe, but life puts things together. It's the nature of life, almost definitionally. It creates order. And Nezuko is weirdly order made out of impossible chaos. The unexpected. I think things will center around Nezuko more. There's something obviously special about her. Obviously different about her. But we're not there yet. For now, we enter the cities. Maybe certainly a novel landscape for like Inosuke. You see all sorts of things to fight. All sorts of shiny shit that he's going to want to try to murder. But we're just going to watch the first episode of the Entertainment District Arc. I've got the title of it. It's titled Sound Hashira Tengen Uzui. I don't know which Hashira that is. I think it's one of the male ones. That's as good as I got. It's not the Snake Boy. Is it, I suspect that it might be the dude with the 2 big swords. And the, like, eye stuff around him and, like, some gems and shit, I think, is what he's got going on. I think that might be him, but I'll withhold any thoughts about that until we see that that's for sure what we're dealing with. And then I'll be very curious to talk about him and very curious to find out more about him, because, yeah. But it might be one of the quiet ones, too. I don't know. Because then there's, like, the joke around the Sound Hashira, haha. Yeah, he's quiet. Sound Hashira Tengen Uzui. Demon Slayer Entertainment District Arc, Episode 1. We'll watch it in the Japanese. Hopefully the subs that I've got are good. They're the Tenrai Sensei subs. Hopefully they're good. I think they were pretty great for the movie. What do you do in the face of great tragedy? We just experienced a pretty grand tragedy. We watched Rengoku die. Well, we've experienced some tragedies before in this story, and the answer has been similar each time. Stand up, keep going. Reevaluate which direction you should go, and go. Don't get stuck. Don't fall apart. Pull yourself together. Wipe away your tears. There are demons to kill. And they may have infiltrated the cities. So let's go find out. Let's go find out to what degree the evil has spread amongst our towns. Or at least just meet another Hashira who we're gonna fall in love with and then he's gonna die at the end. Fuck. No! Akaza pops out, is like, become a demon, Tengen! Be a demon, bro. Just fight me forever. You're worthy. No, not again. No! Alright. Oh, it's a double. Ah, okay. Well, we're in for the double then. Good. I didn't realize that it was a double. That could have totally destroyed my whole schedule idea. Just been like, uh-oh, I don't have time for that. I have plenty of time for that, and I'm down. 45 minutes, no sweat. Let's watch. Make sure I'm recording properly. Make sure I should probably make sure I have more disk space at the very least. Demon Slayer, Entertainment District Arc, Episode 1, The Double. Beep beep timer. I should do a thing. There'll be 2 versions of this reaction video. You can find a picture-in-picture will I be doing? I don't think I will. There might be 1 version of this reaction video. It'll be a timer up on YouTube. I can speak to why I think that might be the way to move forward. But I don't think here is the place to do it. Suffice it to say that it's a combination of a safety measure, given some shifts in the aggressiveness of copyright holders, and also, I think, an ethical measure, because I think that there might be something wrong and corrupting about redistributing the animated material itself. I'm not certain of this. It's a tricky gray area question, but I think I'd like to err on the side of caution, but also respect. We'll see. I might change my mind on that. Regardless, there will be a timer-based version for certain, and it will be up on YouTube. And if you'd like to sync up your own copy of the episode via Crunchyroll or wherever else you've got it, you're more than welcome to do so. Just get your copy ready, because the BB timer to count you down will be coming at you soon. And before it does, there's a Patreon linked in the description. That's how I make rent and food. And that's about what it covers for me. And that's pretty good. And I'm very grateful for it. So if you enjoyed the weird rambling about shows, please support the weird rambling about shows via the Patreon. Let's watch some Demon Slayer. Beep beep timer. Silent, no music. Helpless. Oh, that's cool. Flashes. Yeah, totally different sound design. Oh, wow, they didn't even do the heart goes. Because we're in the external perspective, huh? It's the coolest fucking thing in the entire film. Ugh. Damn! Episode ends. It's just, hey, we wanted to remind you of the horrible tragedy that we just experienced. You remember? Good. Good. We're not going to show you anything new. It's just that on a loop. Are these meant to be styled and placed somewhere? I don't think so. Sad boar boy. Very sad. No! No! Training! Training! Train away the pain. Oh, it's his little brother. Oh, shit. Fuck you. Ho, ho, ho! Hora! Yeah. Another one to join your little garden, huh? Fucking coward. God, it's like a photograph. What the fuck? Ooh, it's a town. Okay, the hairpin again makes me think. Ooh, time lapse in animation. What the fuck? It's like that one scene that we had of the train yard. Hello, child. Hello, creepy child. What are you actually? Hey, you need to pay for that. No, you already paid for that? Okay. Need to see the eyes. Because I've got a weird wibbly that it's like literally Muzan himself. Oh! Destroyed beauty. Ah, he's adopted. Oh, some ominous music around that kid, dude. What the fudge? Okay. Hmm. Hmm. That's great. Great. Sounds really good. Oh. Damn. That's fucking harsh. Ta-da. Oh, does he now? Just a little vampirism. Little can't go outside skin disease, huh? Yeah, a demon curing drug would be great. That would be lovely. That'd be great. Ha! Ha! Hi. Ho, whoa, to report. Ah, no, I knew it. His eyes are the wrong. Ah, there they go. Oh, God. Oh, God. Whoa. Fuck. Confirm its existence. Ah. Oh. That's pretty good. I don't think he's going to rest assured at all. Hey, it was pretty hard, man. Of course, right. You were destined to wow. Damn, he can barely stand. Hold him, kneel. Kill them all. Damn. Oh. No, you know what? I leave. I'm not into this family anymore. I quit. Here's my 2 weeks. Absolute cruelty. Absolute disdain for his underlings. Absolute fear. My God. How you feel, bro? Mad. Ah, he's still got the sword. Yeah, I was wondering about that. Shattered. All right, you're gonna need a new sword. All right. Yeah, I'm down. You can try, man. Go for it. Fuck! Kid Muzan is the worst. It's the worst. Ugh, I'll take it over. Oh. Hi, baby. I'll take it over creepy girl Muzan. That was worse. Plum rice balls? No. No. Fucking idiot. So much work. So much work just to steal a tray of buns. You fucking moron. Hmm. But if you think Tanjiro is gonna fall into despair from that, that doesn't seem correct to me. Oh, it has. I was wrong. I expected more from you, protagonist! Hmm. Stand up and keep going. He's out there, though. Wow. Keep hitting yourself until you get going again. Oh, with Nezuko on the back, too. God damn, dog. Such a pretty little scene. The fidelity so far has been great. Oh, that's why we did it as the title card. With the brother. Oh, that's great. That was great. It's a little one. He looks really sad. Fuck. Is his father still alive? I'm bleeding out from my stomach. I'm fine. Becoming a swordsman when he had no real talent. Yeah, how dare you, man? Is it now? Well, that's a hateful man. Hey, little bro, you wanna come live somewhere else? Fuck this. You don't have a blade, do you? He doesn't have a sword. He hates you, yeah. Yeah, clearly he's in the category of people with talent. Pain causes all sorts of responses. He did tell you that his father had some ideas. Hamon energy! Hamon energy! Yeah, it's Hamon energy. That's your dad, dude. That's your dad. That was his dad. Right? Right. Yeah, sure you have. Ooh, that's so delicious. That's very tasty. I don't know what that is, man. I wish I did. Then I could beat the fuck out of you. Kusajiji. Yeah, look out. Yeah, this is a bad idea. This is a bad idea. Yeah. Otto. Yeah. Yeah, no, he's gonna hit you again. Oh, shit. If it's so powerful, then why, if I'm so powerful, wasn't I capable? Fuck. Yeah. Yeah, oops. Hey, thanks, bro. Yeah. He was fiending for a beating. It's okay. He did break his whole jar. Oh, good. Hmm. Another legacy of fear, just like what we've got with Muzan. Self-hatred becomes other hatred instantly. Fuck, it's good. That's right on. Did. Close to it. It's his own journal about being the Hashira. Lore! I don't know yet, I haven't read it, bro. Lore! Has it all been crossed out or something horrible? You stole my fucking buns! There's gonna be hell to pay! That's great. That's great. That's super great. You gotta unpack it yourself. You gotta figure it out. Uh-huh. Self-hatred. Damn. It's still, there's bits. There are bits. Bits are enough. Bits are useful. You know, because if we just got the book and we understood all the things, all the mysteries were dispelled, there'd be nothing. Yeah, just barely slipping into like rote memory. There's that temptation. Yeah, you are. Maybe. Or you're gonna die trying. Likely. Looking at purity, huh? I don't know what a Tsuguko is. Ha. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Brutal, but you have to do what you have to do. Yeah. Sometimes the greatest thing that you can do for yourself in the world is to give up on a stupid dream. It's not a stupid dream. Sorry. It's not what I mean. That. The wrong path. Okay. Alright. But I doubt. Alright, cool. Thanks, Ben. You're the fucking best. Pat, 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 pat. Intricacies of the roof create all this detail in the scene and its depth that goes deep into it and oh. Oh. Oh, you can't refuse it neither. You can't refuse it either. Fire, water, huh? And a new sword, he'll need one. The previous one stayed black, but you don't have a clue, old man. Some people don't want to get helped. Yeah, called right on your bullshit, dumbass. Yep. Maybe you were wrong. Gorgeous. That's a real cruel kindness right there. That's great. Oh yeah, you've been bleeding out, bro. God. Hi, Nezuko. Oh, it's getting dark. You're alone. You got no sword, bro. Ha! Oh, is this Inosuke? What? Oh my god, it's the guy, it's the boy! You need a new sword! He said he would kill you if you broke that shit. This is gorgeous. What a great pace change. What? Depths of despair. Depths of despair. Straight to absolute humor. Fantastic. Ooh, that was great. Ah, shit, I forgot about y'all. So creepy. Brooding. Oh, okay. He's just chilling, having dongo. Okay. Oh. Great little joke loop. Wow, that was great. Mm. No! Okay, alright, Inosuke. Training. The Eye of the Tiger. Oh, wow, we're just gonna flippity flap. The months go by. Good, good, great. Wow, look at our boys. Look at our beefcakes. There's some beefin' boys. I mean, Inosuke was already there, but these are some beefin' boys. He hasn't put the guard on it. That seems like a problem. God, what are they feeding these kids? All right. To the mountain. Wow, that's gorgeous. All the shiny bits. Wow. Hello, Mr. Demon. Knock, knock. Anybody home? Mm-hmm. Up. Up. Hey. Ah, the smell. Oh, secret weapon. Cute girl. Hey, Team Apu. This blend of a little bit of electronic in the music, tension building. Excitement building. Ugh. He's got a demon with him, that's wrong. Hi. Where's your sister? Sympathy for the demon, huh? Yep. Don't need anything special for you. Hey. Hey, there's something going on inside our shed. What's this giant puddle of blood? Demon blood just vaporizes, right? So, is he hiding on the ceiling, clinging to something or something like that? Nope. He's just gone, just out of there. And the people are none the wiser. No threat. Very cool. Oh, that's CG. It's really interesting that they chose that moment for that. Weird. Eh? It's gotta be Zenitsu. Oh! Oh, it is that guy! Okay. Ah. Hey! Don't you steal these girls! Why is he stealing the girls? What are you doing? Hmm. Unflashy. Is that his thing? Flashy is his thing? Ah! Yeah, that's pretty flashy. Did I make a mistake? Just the wag with the little gem thing? I'll headbutt fucking anybody. Oh, he's gone. Yes. Former shinobi. I mean, it's worked before. Huh? You should probably ask, though. Yeah, fine. Well, this guy sucks. This guy sucks. I love him. Absolutely no respect for other humans. Hmm. Damn. Not flashy at all. Oh, hi. Oh, hi. Oh, this is a cool shot. I want to see that again. What was that? 39. Wow, we're so far in. Huh, we've practiced this pose. Ginyu Force rules. Ginyu Force rules. uh. No, you tell him, bro. you tell him, Zenitsu. Huh. Oh, he needed women. It is a red light district. We're gonna defy you a lot, man. Whoa! Hey! This guy gives 0 fucks. Nausea! Super flashy. Dun, dun, dun. Alright, I mean, that's fun. Ooh! Spooky! Spooky. Whoa! Whoa! Hey! Some characters, some ladies. Oh, these are great rotation shots. Those are spectacular. Flashy indeed. I'm gonna watch this. I don't give a fuck if it spoils anything. I don't think it will, but I don't give a fuck. Infiltration. Hi! Hi! Some history! Hi, buddy. Yeah, Muzan fits in here so perfectly. Gross. Aimer on the thing, yep. Big smile. That's Muzan? Oh, got her own vines or something. I'm into it. I'm into it. The patterns are great. There are 4 minutes left. Oh, it's a credits roll. Holy shit. Okay. SP at the end. God, I'm gonna ruin everything by skipping to this. Okay, that sequence was very fun. We got a little explanation from him where he explains that he used to live as an unflashy life as a member of a shinobi clan, being all in the shadows in the darkness, and then his pent-up resentment exploded and he became very flashy. Wore a lot of gems and big swords and stuff. Cool. Cool. Reasonable, I guess. This episode's really good. I mean, this 40-minute thing, I don't even know what to call it. It's like an OVA that bridges the gap. It's really good. It's so fucking great. I mean, that's some quality. My absolute favorite thing in this 45-minute chunk that we just watched is we go as dark and like hurtful, internal, self-destructive, and surroundings destructive, painful as you can get. We show a really interesting example of deep bitterness and resentment. And it all stems from self-hatred. And we're indicated that really effectively. And it gets as emotionally tough and wrong as it can be. And it jumps from that depths of despair sort of feeling to the funniest sequence in the episode. And part of the reason that it's the funniest sequence in the episode is because of the juxtaposition with despair. Because it's placed right there. I talk all the time about the greatest despair coming right after you've given some hope. The demons in Kimetsu talk about it. We talked about it during the movie. We've talked about it many times. In fact, the source of it as an idea is from Fate Zero, another Ufotable show, where mass murderer from the past says exactly that. How great it is to the tastiest despair comes right after the hope is revealed. You know, the same is true in reverse. You juxtapose your comedic moments with emotionally resonant, dark, deep, the opposite of humor. And there are multiple opposites of humor, but you choose one or you mix them together or whatever. You get a puddle of self-hatred and brutal treatment of your child and disrespect for your now dead child, and like about as dark as you can get. And you jump from that to you're wandering down the road feeling, oh man, I've gone a little too far. And there he is, the boy with the mask and swords everywhere. Just freaking out. And we do a whole like a run around sequence in and out of doors, up and down the trees, and it's as funny as it is because of where it's placed. And it's really good. It's really good. I haven't had a joke like that land like that for me in a little while. Including some of the Tiki Tuesday stuff and the Kaguya episode that we watched. Nothing's landed like that. And part of it is it's like relief. It's like, man, there's only so much tension and darkness and rough stuff that you can take before you need something to dispel that tension. And when you dispel that tension, you go to the opposite side of the spectrum. It's like a huge swing and you really feel it. And it's a huge swing, and I really felt it, and I really liked it. I really liked it. All right, I'm going to go use the bathroom. I'll be back to talk through the episode. Okay. Much of this episode, as presented, is focused on establishing the state of affairs after Rengoku's death. Sort of aftermath. Because we get the emotionally resonant, potent scene at the end of the film. And we repeat it here in many ways. But we have to tie up some loose ends. I'm amazed, I'm intrigued that they didn't do the actual set your heart ablaze sequence. They didn't include it. The sequence where his heart actually lights a fire and it travels through his veins. It's just interesting to me. I don't have an opinion one way or the other as to whether that's a good idea or not. I don't think it's a bad idea. But damn, that's where we start. And this is the aftermath that we lead to. And Tanjiro's words echo. Let us all carry on Kyojiro's will together. And that's the way that we said at the beginning. Pretty bad thing has happened. You gotta pick up and carry on. Your alternative is worse. And we're gonna demonstrate that when we get to the father. Who seems, to me, a man stuck on an expectation unfulfilled. Something like that. Unable to see in his son that his son has fulfilled whatever expectation it is that he has. And then we open on the glory of the new content. And it's really quite excellent looking. This time-lapse sequence kind of boggles my brain, because we got all the pieces moving as though there are humans moving around. Brrrr. Lights blink on. Shadows move across the wires. It's like the transition sequence that we got in the train station, and it's really cool looking. Anime doesn't usually look like this. Ufotable is next level in a couple of ways. Okay. Just casually go into a bookstore. Avoid showing the face over and over and over and over. Oh, it makes him really creepy. Even if we showed the face, it wouldn't necessarily reveal to us that it's Muzan. It's when the eyes happen that really happens. But by avoiding showing the face, we make this kid creepy as fuck. He's looking for herbology texts. The world moves around him as he remains static. Every motion that the child makes is like, if he moves too fast, it could rip the world apart. like the power that he has, and we demonstrate it later when he sort of points at Akaza. Could like rip walls apart. Just the sheer force of his motion, it feels like that. Whether it's true or not, it's this feeling of incredible restraint. The scariest kind of evil is the restrained evil. The scariest kind of person is the person with great power who knows how to control it. And Muzan certainly knows how to control it. And so we have torn apart butterflies, moths, and shredded tatami mats, I think. And this lovely little discussion, this little tapas and wine, tapas and scotch, some like nuts, pistachios, expensive stuff. And they're talking about how good a kid this kid is. Oh, he's so well spoken. He's such a fine boy. And blood has nothing to do with parental affection. Yeah, and I wish I could trade my idiot son for him. Well, there's just this one thing where he can't go outside because of a skin disease, and he looks through the book, hoping to make a miracle cure for him. He's inserted himself into this family, pharmaceutical company family, right? And he's seeking the blue spider lily. A cure for demonness? Doesn't seem like he'd want to cure the ability to make more. Or a cure for his own sunlight affliction, right? Sort of Dio style conquer the sun. Jaja! Or Cars style conquer the sun, So Akaza returns. So, alright, let's just mention some little cute CG stuff that's going on here. This piece of fabric has been CGified, and so it moves subtly in the wind. It adds so much. Muzan-sama. It's so interesting. I think that if you told me that this scene would work the way that it does, I would expect that it would be better if you don't have Akaza say Muzan-sama before we reveal the eyes, because you want it to jump scare the eyes, right? But instead it works even better this way, I think. I'd have to re-edit it and see it the other way, and it wouldn't work the same way because I've already seen it. I know what's going to happen, but it works even better this way. The eyes are like, wow, ah, ah! It's a great little goof. Have you found it? No, I was unable to find it. And he says, like, the best thing that he can is, and I will continue to try really hard to live up to your expectations. And Muzan's like, garbage, just like he was with the lower 6 Kizuki, who all, tried to say what they thought he would think. They all tried to say what they thought he would want to hear, and he just detests it. He hates this pandering bullshit. He hates it. Well, that's a problem when you set yourself up as a violent, deterministic supreme authority to whom everyone around you must necessarily bow in completeness. Nobody's gonna tell you the fucking truth. Nobody's gonna tell you the truth ever, because it'll get them killed, and it does, and you kill them. This is why like kings and princes and sheiks and leaders of all sorts, the cruel and tyrannical sort, have always suffered from a lack of people around them who can tell them what they think. And you'll see that in every instance, when you find people who are interesting and good leaders, they've surrounded themselves with people who are their enemies to some extent and don't want to just bow and scrape to them. Muzan-sama is pretty inefficient, really. The demons are pretty inefficient. They're not capable of bringing information to him effectively because they're terrified of him. Because his whole organization is structured on terror. Fear, power, violence. That's the structure of the organization. That's what creates the hierarchy. That's what generates all of it. And I think it serves as a really good example against the idea that societies are built on power. Because, well, there's a fictional representation of a social group built on power, and it doesn't go so well for anybody in it, including the people who have the power. Muzan's will gets done, but he loses subordinates all the time. And he'd be like, they're just useless subordinates, whatever. No, dog! Dude! You need as many as you could get! Stupid idiot! You're killing your own hope. But he doesn't care. He doesn't see it that way. As ordered, I eliminated one Hashira, so you may rest assured. Why the fuck would I rest assured from that? He points, and we get this... And immediately the veins appear. It's just pure force. As if that were such a feat. I expect that you'll win. Duh. It's not some praiseworthy act on your part. It's what you are. Man, you want somebody to really hate you? Here's what you do. You wait for them to accomplish something that took them some effort. A little bit of dedication, you know? They get into the school that they've been aiming for, and it took a lot of work. Move up in their job or get a promotion or something, or just accomplish something that they've been really working toward. And then, when you talk to them about it, indicate through your words that you think it was sort of an inevitability, and that they really didn't have anything to do with it. It wasn't your effort. It was just the way things are. You know. Oh, you moved up in your job? Well, it's because you're tall and handsome. It makes sense. Has nothing to do with you, the conscious, free-willed individual at the center. It's just the nature of what you are. Of course this is what would happen. This is the expectation. You're not doing something praiseworthy. You can just imagine the scene playing out. Imagine their countenance falling. As they go, yeah, well, fuck you, man. I worked really hard for this. And you're just going to attribute it to that? Yeah, just attribute the success of a person to something that's outside of their control. You know, you only got that job because of the patriarchy. Or, on the other side, you only got that job because of affirmative action or something stupid like that. Some social thing that has nothing to do with you. Or some innate thing that's just a part of who you are and has nothing to do with your labor or effort. It just cuts the knees right out from under a person. It's like, just completely ignores any striving or trying or any of that shit. And I say all of this in the context of, like, I think Akaza sucks. I think he's a brutal, menacing thug who's also quite cowardly, as Tanjiro says. But still, Muzan, this is bad leadership. You could do better. You should try to do better, because then you'd have a more functioning organization. And so he gives him an impossible task, pummel the life out of every last one of them. And I'm going to shred this book. It's super easy. It's not complicated. And yet you haven't done it. You piece of shit. And we go, Muzan, Weren't there other demon slayers there? Why didn't you kill all of them? Akaza, Akaza, Akaza. You have disappointed me. Dismissed. And the whole time, Akaza is just like holding the blood in as he's exploding from the inside as Muzan lets his displeasure be known. You know, it's relatively frequent in anime that we have a character go like, such pressure! oh, what fighting spirit, what force, right? And sometimes we'll see that as like waves of power coming off of a character or something like that. Rarely do we have someone buckled to their knees and like struggling just to stay there. That is a pretty good depiction. I think it works really well. It makes Muzan it just reminds you. It's just a little reminder. It's like, hey, you remember who this was? Yeah, you remember who this was. It is a problem. It is a problem. It's great. How he's going to explain all the shit that's books torn up on the floor and the fact that the windows are open and shattered, I don't know, and I don't care. I love this. Akaza shoulders that burden and becomes furious and directs his fury at Tanjiro, the person who's in his way. Just passes the buck, right? Because you put impossible responsibility and no praise, no pride, no, like, none of your efforts matter at all onto someone, and they'll buckle under the weight of it. And so they put it on somebody else, and you play the blame game, and you pass that shit on. And so he passes it on to Tanjiro, and the Demon Slayers, and everybody else, and the whole world, and God, and the trees, it's their fault, it's everybody. Right. Unless you're really noble. Unless the buck stops with you. This is sort of outside of the show, but it's Rengoku. Rengoku's father has been a drunk and a bastard for a while, and Rengoku has experienced some of that. In fact, we see in the scene that we get of them in the film itself that he's stood up against him, but in a kind and compassionate way. And the buck stops with Rengoku. Everybody's got violence in their past. Everybody's got something that they could attribute their traumas to. If you dig into anybody's backstory, anybody's history, there's something that you can find that would justify some violence and some evil and some cruelty and some maliciousness. Anybody. You can find reasons. We've all been hurt. And I mean, some of us have been really hurt. Cruelly, unjustly, by the world, by our parents often, by our siblings often. And I think it's the most common thing in the world to take that pain in, fail to evaluate it completely, let it become part and parcel to your nature, and pass it along unconsciously to whoever you have power over. Power in a business, cruel boss. Power in a family, cruel parent. Wherever you have the ability to let that evil seep out from you, it does. Unless you're something, well, a little bit different. Unless you're noble, and I think that might be what nobility is to me, is the ability to withstand that pain without spreading it to others. The ability to incorporate it and breathe through it. The ability to heal instead of spreading. To have the, emotional immune system to tackle your own trauma and not share it. And that's, in my mind, some of what Rengoku does. He takes the burden and the weight of not just his father's expectations, but the fact that his father thinks that he hasn't fulfilled them. And he strives regardless, with no bitterness in his heart. When he says the meal is delicious, it's because the meal is delicious, and it's because it's right to say that to the person who made you a meal. And when he sends his father, please take care of yourself, there's no malice in it, I don't think. Even though it ends up being the most hurtful thing that he could possibly say. He refuses to answer cruelty with cruelty. He refuses, in every sense, you might say, to become a demon. Physically, literally in the show, but also metaphorically. I will not become that which has caused pain to me. Will not. So, I don't know. It's a classic in evil empires and evil organizations and whatnot. Is the person in charge is cruel and pernicious and evil and destructive to the people just under them, and they turn around and they go to the next the group down the line, and they go, "I'm your fucking commander. Listen up, you stupid bitches. You all suck and blah blah blah." And they're just passing the buck down to the people they're in charge of, and they go and they do the same thing in their houses and in their families and to their nominal friends and to anybody that they have authority over and can pull that shit off with. They'll spread the pain. It's classic in narratives, and I think it's real. I think we have a real tendency to spread what we get. And I think the reason that I bring it up, the reason I want to talk about it, is because I think if you're awake to it, you can stop it. And I think if you're not awake to it, you can't stop it. And so if speaking about it can wake up one of you, a couple thousand people will watch this video, I hope. Maybe one of them will go, "Oh shit, and think about it. That's a saved person as far as I'm concerned." Because it just makes you more miserable to spread the misery. Because then everybody else around you is miserable, and they don't like you very much because you're causing them harm and pain. So they're going to treat you pretty poorly in return, and there are reasons that you might not want to live a life like that, because it could spiral out of control really fast. So be aware of your own trauma, but also aware of the possibility that you could enact it unconsciously upon yourself and others. Furious at a sword, right? It's a damn cool attack rush. Should we shatter the existing blade? I'm coming for ya. And we channel it all into vengeance. Creepy. Creepy boy. Stealing beans. I actually think that I really like this side of things, because Zenitsu is Inosuke's an idiot. Tanjiro is the best boy. Zenitsu is a coward. He's not built for this, kind of, right? He's no noble hero, usually. Sometimes he's got some sparks of the ability to fight for stuff that matters, and I'm not trying to discount that, but Zenitsu in his natural state is like, "I don't want to go fight, it's dark out there, it's scary, That's the natural state of Zenitsu. So we get from his perspective what's going on with Tanjiro and what's going on with Inosuke. And he keeps thinking, like, I guess even people as strong as them cry. And that ends up being really poignant. Because part of it is like a self-justifying for him. It's like, well, maybe my own feelings aren't so invalid, which is fair. But it also just shows from the perspective of a more human character. You know, he's not just the noblest boy who's ever boyed, right? He's a more human character. More flawed. It shows his evaluation of his friends and the sort of respect and curiosity that he has toward their actions. And it's closer to, I think, what we feel, or what we should feel when we evaluate them. It's like, that's an ideal. And even the ideal breaks down and cries. That's pretty cool. So I like that we show it that way. That would make anyone sad and fall right apart. But then there's the other side to it, which is that it doesn't make them fall right apart. Yes, they were beyond frustrated. Yes, they were suffering and feeling sorrow. But they, quote, beat their wounded souls again and again and get back on their feet. It's what they do. It's what they keep doing. And it's maybe something to hold up and hold on high as useful. I'm watching through a series of lectures from MIT via their MIT Open Course program, which is awesome. There are dozens and dozens and dozens of high-quality university lectures just totally available for free online. I'm watching through the film lectures because I've taken film classes, and I was like, I'll take another film class, sure, why not? Watching through the film lectures, I'm like 8 in now. I think I was 2 in yesterday, so listened to a bunch yesterday. And one of the things that the lecturer talks about, he was talking about the Charlie Chaplin films as well as the Buster Keaton films, and something that's sort of emblematic of both the characters that they play is that they're an everyman constantly trudging through a shitty reality, experiencing all sorts of hardship, and then they keep going. And there's something like a worldview to that. Intrinsic to it is like, yeah, all this crap is going to keep happening to you, and you keep going and you make humor out of it. You get yourself up and you trudge on because the alternative is way worse. Way worse. Beat your wounded soul again and again and get back on your feet. Bingo. That's it. Things fall apart. People fall apart. It's what they do, as we talked about in the pre-discussion. It's what they do. It's what they do. If that's the universe and life is in some way both part of it, we die. And something against it, we create more life. We generate order out of infinite chaos. Then maybe you can embody that living thing. You can do it by setting your heart on fire, igniting your soul. Whoosh. Heat rises. And yeah, fires burn out, but they burn hot while they burn. I'm sure Rengoku-san was that kind of person too. He gets that sound from him. And we see, well, it's pretty perfect. Morose Zenitsu walking with his buns. He pops in the door and he's wearing a big smile. What did I just say about Zenitsu? He's kind of a coward. He's not really built for this. But he pops around the corner and he's doing something to try to cheer other people up. Not so much a coward. A little bit more resilient. Striving. Trying. It's pretty great. Alright, and then of course he gets thwackety bang boom bam. Oh, he's goop goop running. Thank you for the crow. Take me to the place. This is really cool looking. To get that to look right just strikes me as very difficult. Got the movement of the landscape behind. You got the running steps of the thing, and they shift side to side as it goes, and it's a complicated shot, and it feels pretty right. You imagine that's off by a millimeter in one direction or another, and it all feels kind of fucked. You know, just drawing the perspective on a box, make it off by a millimeter or two, and it feels kind of fucked, and it doesn't feel fucked. It feels great. And we made it, and hi, and we're sad. All right. And we introduced the father. I know what he would have written. It would have been useless. Well, that's what he got for becoming a swordsman when he had no real talent. Former Hashira that you are. No wonder he died. Expected results. What a fool of a son. We get some real fucking rage brewing in Tanjiro from this. Because you're just, not just disparaging the dead, but you're disparaging someone that we as an audience have seen as honorable. And you, fool, drunk, have the nerve. That's really good. That gets my goat. It gets me going. It's a pretty classic archetype of like the father who sees no value in the son. It mirrors closely the relationship that I have with my own father. So there's an element of it that hits close to home for me. It's also that he goes on to present a really obviously incorrect worldview. Talent is determined the day that they're born. There's no overcoming that. Only a mere handful have it. The rest are just members of the masses, and they are completely useless trash. Glug, glug, glug. Counter argument. Then, you, who have been a Hashira, you're talented then, right? Okay. What are you doing with it? Because it seems to me that to be someone with gifts who is not fulfilled, or who is not fulfilling the potential presented to them by those gifts that are innate to their structure, insofar as such a thing exists, and it does, there are clear and obvious differences between people. You know, our core documents say all men are created equal. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, but we have to hold that truth to be self-evident. It's not self-evident. In fact, it's obviously not quite true. All men are created equal, but some are tall and some are short. Some are big and some are small. Now, we're talking about some transcendent property that human life has, that there's something equivalently valuable about any human spirit, something like that. But one can very nobly live a simple life without great gifts and be good to the people around them and produce something of merit and of worth for those around them and contribute meaningfully to society, even if that's just to the people who they care about just around them. A person with no great gifts, part of the useless masses, as he says, can live a damn good life and have a really powerful positive impact on the world. And likewise, someone with great gifts can become a twisted wreck and do nothing of the sort and produce nothing but despair and chaos and misery around them. So, is it the innate gifts that are valuable, or is it what you do with what you've got? The way I've framed it, the answer is obvious. I think it's more complicated than that, but his own philosophy, turned just slightly, indicts him so deeply. It calls him directly on his bullshit. Because he hates himself for something. It's unclear what. Maybe it was the death of the mother. But it's unclear to me. He even looks, this moment where he looks at the sake jar, chugs it as if it's like just an action, a rote action, and then stares at it with disdain. Oh, fuck. Kyojiro was like that. No real talent, useless trash. You see the kid like, my brother who I love is getting disparaged by my father, and that hurts. And I can't do anything about it because he'll just beat me. Because I have no authority here, and so he can spread whatever pain he wants, and I just have to bear it. And we get this. The funeral's over. Stop fucking moping. Of course, this makes it worse. And of course, Tanjiro stops and steps in. Member of the Demon Slayer Corps, but he sees the earrings and in rage shatters his bottle. You are a wielder of the sun breathing technique. Which is Hino something. Hinokokyu? Hinokokyu. That's new information, isn't it? And that's what we've been sent here for, and that's pretty interesting. The fight goes bad. he's a strong boy still, drunk or not. And he's just flailing, right? Just lashing out. Thwack pow, pack thwow. And he speaks back to him for real. What are you trying to accomplish, man? You're being brutal to the living child. You're insulting the dead one. And it doesn't sink in. You're mocking me. That's what it is. You're just here to make fun of me. Blinded. Absolutely blind. It's because you're a wielder of the Hinokokyu. I know all about those earrings. So all this ends up serving as like mystery as we move forward. Is this the Hinokami Kagura? The most powerful breathing technique? And that's your dad. That's just your dad. And everything else is an imitation of the thing. It's literally Hamon. It's literally Jojo's Hamon. Our lineage goes back. But does it? It's just a piece of paper. It could be all a lie. And, you say your shit, you're correct, but he's a big boy, and he's talented, and and trained, and he gives you a good couple thwackins. And you get a good couple of thwackins. There you go. And of course, he's deeply ashamed of his own weakness. If this technique that I have is so great, then why wasn't I able to save Rengoku? And maybe that's an echo of exactly what's going on inside this guy's heart. If my talent and power is so great, then why wasn't I able to save my wife, for example? I could read that. That would make sense to me. But it's all just a theory at this point, we don't get to know. Gives him the headbutt, super sorry. We get some real respect between these two. And Tanjiro's deeply apologetic. This kid's obviously beyond good-hearted. Well, one thing I'll say is, he's got an ideal to look up to, and he's got one to pull the fuck away from. And that can be a very useful thing. It can be a very useful thing. To know exactly who you don't want to be. And exactly who you do. And the book is all torn up, which is great. It's great. This is great. It's great. Because, imagine if we come into this and we just open the book and there's the answer. It's like, hey, this weird guy named Kamado blah 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 had totally invented this sun breathing technique and it revolutionized demon fighting forever. It's been totally different since that happened, and here's the answer and here's how you do it. Huh. Oh, yeah, neat. Cool, thanks, bro. Story's over. No. More mystery. Good. I'm glad. It's all right. I know what it is I must do. And we get like a, man, this is such a shonen protagonist speech from Tanjiro. In fact, it's the shonen protagonist speech. It's like, this is the path. This is the way forward. What I will do in the face of my own incapacity to protect the people that I want to protect, I will train harder. Even though I know some of the things, I'm not capable of doing everything correctly completely. I'll have to learn. I can't physically keep up with it. I'll have to learn more stamina. I'll have to gain more constant. I'll have to be all of these things. And he imagines the potential of an instantaneous rise to power. If only there'd been some instant trick that would have given me the leg up that I needed. And that's deep temptation. But there isn't any. There are no shortcuts, so all I can do is struggle to move forward by pulling out all the stops to do whatever it is that I can, no matter how grueling or frustrating it may be. And I'm going to become a powerful Hashira, like Kyojuro-san, no matter what. Tatebayo! I'm gonna become Hokage, find the One Piece. Whatever Ichigo in Bleach wants. I forget what he cares about. I don't really care. I'm becoming a hunter! Shit, what else is there? What else is there? The greatest Pokemon master. Champion. What else? What other big... Hey, there's a big goal. I'm gonna set myself in line with that, and I'm going that way, and I'm gonna work really hard to get there. This is the speech. The one. It's great. It's fucking great. Okay. Tsuguko is a second? I think it's a second. Apprentice and eventual successor of one of the Hashira. Normally it would have been me, but I suck. My Nichirin sword failed to change color. Rip. And he says, I'm going to forget about becoming a swordsman and make myself useful to the world in another way. How many people waste large chunks of their lives pursuing what they think they should be doing, knowing that it isn't what they should be doing, knowing that they're not cut out for it, knowing that they don't have the aptitude for it? Many. Many. I did. I went and got a computer science degree because I thought that was the path. It was the way to fight in the future, the way to build things. And I'm grateful for it. Glad of it. It took going down that path for me to realize that it wasn't the right one. And that's a hard thing about life, I think. But sometimes you gotta remember that the shonen protagonist attitude of forge on no matter the hardship, continue in the same direction without... You gotta be able to step away from that and reevaluate your course a little bit. The path is for some. There are other paths for others. You don't have to get stuck on one of them. And there's nothing wrong. With living a simple, good life. It might be the greatest thing that any of us can do. Is to humbly seek our own utility. How could I be good to the world? If I'm going to suppose that this being thing that I'm a part of is good, how can I contribute to that effectively? Not how do I think that I should contribute to it, but how can I actually? Not what grandiose narrative I've spun up for myself and what big dream I put, big impossible dream I put in front of myself, and I'll be unsatisfied if I never reach it. But how can I marry the actual talents that I really have to the actual needs of the world around me and produce something of value? I think that's something like maturity, or at least it's a part of maturity. Because there's an arrogance in saying that, the only way that I'm going to be able to contribute to society is to be a swordsman. It's the only thing that'll count. The only way that I'm going to be able to contribute to society is to become a tech billionaire, That's the only thing that's going to count. Yeah. What if you could contribute to society by being a good member of a family unit? Or by being a good friend? Or by being a good cashier? By making some bigger system run. Maybe that would be good too. Maybe we need that. Maybe you could even find some pride in it. It's like, post office worker, cog in a machine. Yeah, delivers the mail. The thing that everybody else counts on. Or maybe I could contribute by being a good plumber. It's not a swordsman. Oh, no, not a swordsman. It's a dirty job. Oh, yeah, dirty job. Yeah, but when your fucking sink backs up, your toilet gets clogged, the world ends. And the hero that you need is a fucking plumber. So there are other ways to not just be useful to people, but to be noble, even. Because I've met some noble plumbers who don't overcharge their clients, who come in and get the job done properly, who make sure that their work is good enough that it won't happen again, who go around and they check all the other elements of the house that might similarly fall apart. and do the base labor. It's not so basic. I think it's not in the show and it's not in the movie, but it's in the episode before. Rengoku embodies this sort of ideal. And it may be something that he's forged in the face of his father's ideology. His father's set of beliefs has to do with talent and predetermination and things like that. Rengoku and as an extension of Rengoku, the camera when we're around Rengoku focuses on the small actions of normal people. The master making soba, making noodles. And we focus really hard on the details of that work. Simple work, the kind of profession that a lot of people look down on. I urge to cook, right? Just to cook. Just a provider of food for people that they enjoy. Rengoku goes into those places and he goes, delicious! This is good! And it's like a moral truth. It's like, good food! Yeah! That's a start. Plumbing works! Yeah! Lights turn on! Whoa! Good stuff. There's rice. It took some people to make that happen, and their work is real and valuable. Spit on the talentless masses. Fuck off. Give up the grandiose dream and be useful to people in some other way. I don't know what it will be, but I'll strive for it. I'm into it, man. I'm into it. I'm really into it. It eases my heart. It eases my heart. Because there's a narrative that's instilled into a lot of us. I think especially when you can tell that I'm amazingly emotional about this. There's a narrative instilled into a lot of us. I think especially when you're young and you demonstrate some aptitude, some ability. I was the kind of kid who demonstrated some aptitude, some ability. People would talk to me for a couple minutes and they'd like get this look on their face. It was like, what the fuck am I talking to? You're different. You're going places, kid. I did it was like a programming jam, something like that. And we built out a little project and did a presentation afterward. And the sort of leader of our group got up to give the presentation, and immediately it became clear that he couldn't do it. He got stage fright. He got scared. And I've got a lot of public speaking experience, so I immediately took over smoothly, subtly, without causing any problems. I just took over and did the rest of the presentation and did it really effectively, I think. We all shook hands and thanked the people who were watching the it was like, it wasn't really a competition. It was just, they were like leaders of industry who were watching and sort of scouting and sort of looking. I remember it's so poignant in my memory. This guy comes up to me afterward and he clearly had a drink or two, but comes up to me and goes, "You, kid, you could be president of the United States one day." I'm like 17. People have told me shit like that since I was 5. So it builds up this set of expectations of self that's like, damn, I'd better live up to that. And nothing else will do. If I'm not a tech billionaire by the time I'm 30, then I'm failing. Maybe not. Maybe not. And, beyond that, maybe I should find more simple things that I can do to contribute meaningfully to those around me. Maybe that would make the whole experience more worthwhile. All of it to just say that I really like this. I really like this. Useful to others in some other way. Yeah. This will break the line, the lineage, inflict damage on its history. But I'm sure that my brother would forgive me. Damn, dude. And Tanjiro gives him the thumbs up. Go down the path that you think is right. And I'll headbutt them if they don't. Alright, maybe not. Got gorgeous scenes. As we move into sunset, the lighting changes continuously throughout the episode. It's fucking gorgeous. Oh, we'll just step outside of the thing to say that the fidelity of the episode is as high as the film. That doesn't make sense. That seems impossible. But it's true. I also really like this scene. I mentioned it when it happened, but the amount of depth of frame that we generate from the wings upward of the brickwork of the roof and the different elements of the house becoming complicated geometric patterns backward. Squares, 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 all the way deep and in. Square framing, square framing, square framing, square framing. It's really cool. And he gives him it's the Tsuba, right? Yeah. And they were often really detailed, individually generated things that were special and unique through history. So it means everything, obviously. It's a really solid symbol of Rengoku. And a really interesting symbol to give to someone who is a water breather more than anything. But maybe, just maybe, he has all the aptitudes because that's the way that the sun breathing works, and maybe that's what he's got going on. Right? Yeah, it's a little special, but it's a hell of a moment. We get this final moment with the father. I don't give a fuck. I don't want his words. He's probably just gripes. I know exactly what he'd say. This is how my father treats me. In some real ways. He won't listen. And has ignored my attempts to reach out to him. Which hurts. Because I'd like to try to mend things and I can't. And I worry that one of us will have to die for the other to come around. And more poignantly, I worry that he'll die and he'll never see me. Scares me more than almost anything. It's a dangerous road to suppose that you know how people will act and speak. People constantly surprise me. In good ways and bad. Constantly. Take them as they are. Not as whatever you think they are. Something like that. Take care of yourself. That's all it was. Those are the only words. The liquor stops at his lips. He can't. Finally, he breaks a little bit. And it's a combination of rage and frustration and unspeakables. Feelings that don't have words. And it's a damn good scene. It's a damn good scene. He speaks his son's name. My favorite thing in the episode. We go from that to just crush a man under the weight of his own hatred. Go from the absolute depths that represents. Wander, wander, walk, walk, turn. We really even, like, we get kind of Sakuga-y with it. It sort of slows down. Woo, woo. The whole scene becomes absolute, just pure comedy. It's really excellent. I like it a lot. Ooh, Nango. All right. Into training, and the boys are getting beefy, as previously stated. The new swords are getting there. We train, and we train. I mean, they're really getting beefy. It's like, that's some deltoid stuff going on, guys. Guys. We take out a normie demon. It's a pretty cool scene. He runs up a thing and jumps around a thing, and Nezuko gets to do her thing as well. We're having Nezuko be more a part of the squad, more capable of fighting all the time. You know, she proved herself against the spiders, and so we can do more of that, and that's really good. We get some actual water breathing. It's gorgeous. What am I gonna say? It's fucking gorgeous. They've really figured out how to do the style for this water stuff. You know, the pieces that were in the film were great, but they've really nailed it down. And they're gone without a trace. We return with a weird CG shot that looks great. I don't mind it, but to find a flashy boy stealing ladies. So we learn a little bit about him. He's goal-oriented, doesn't give a shit about other people, truly doesn't seem to have any compunctions about anybody, like, completely. No restraint. Maximum flashy. Also sort of like, well, it comes across as casual sexism, but I think it's more like casual just disregard for everybody. He's just too good for this place and for all of you, and he doesn't care, and he needs you for a mission, and that's what you're gonna do. But I don't know. We don't have enough of the character to really read into him that much. He's very flashy, very shiny, big armbands, gems on the forehead, gem things hanging down, cool hairdo, weird hairdo. A very interesting character design. He also has non-traditional Nichiren swords, you know? They're both these big fucking thick-ass blades. They look like, Ichigo's big sword. It's the second Bleach reference for the day. Weird. The big sword. They look like those, but there are two of them and they're chained together, and that's weird. Like, I don't think that's traditional ninja weaponry either. It's his own fucking thing, and it's very flashy. It's very... You know, he doesn't have sheaths for them because he has to wrap them in bandages or a cloth or whatever, because you don't make sheaths for a sword like that. It doesn't fit into sheaths. They're built wrong for it. just confusion is what Tanjiro gets from him, and that's exactly right. I'm gonna hit you with a pow, and he's gone. It's a cool rotating shot too. You know, it's just like the rotate that we had with Akaza and Kyojuro and Rengoku. It's like woof, woof, woof. Right? Same momentum thing. Woof, woof. Right? Yeah, same momentum thing. Very cool. Ha ha. I'm a super ninja. It'll never work. The tiny girls end up actually being cute through these scenes, and I don't find them terrifying. I find them really creepy usually. So we get a goofy side and a powerful side. I don't give a fuck about any of you. She's not a member of the Corps. So again, it's just complete disregard for others. It doesn't seem to necessarily be sexist. We can read that into the butt slap that happens later, but no wonder the Corps is getting weaker and weaker. It's guys like you wailing and moaning. Fine, we'll go instead. And we get this rotating shot, which I think is really cool. Voom. Hi. Shum. Hi. Voom. Hi. Shum. Hi. This is really cool. How does it... Do we go through the blade? No, we go around it. We interpolate the background moving. Boom, bam, boom, bam, boom, bam, and then we zoom. Whoop. And that's when he looks up so that we see the face. Zoom. This one's faster, I think. Yeah, there are pieces of it that go on ones both moving at the same time, so it is faster. And then, voom, pow. It's like, it reminds me of like Kill la Kill character introductions. Boom! Bam! The name comes up, right? You could do big name title cards right on each of the zoom in moments for each of these characters. It's got that same sort of vibe. It's like, we're here. These are the characters that you've been waiting for. It's all set up. It's all the way that you want it to be. And then they join your boy, slap, slap, pow. It's cool. It's rad as balls. Not backing down. All right, and then he gives the butt pat and throws the girls, and off we go. To the red light district. We get this cool CG thread through all these places. That's terrifying. That's Muzan. Just horror show of... I mean, this is really cool, actually. This is really cool. It's the same kind of sketchiness that you'll get in the midst of an explosion or whatnot, and it ends up looking really great. Bam, bam, and we, threw into ED territory, I think. All these setups for possible interesting things, all the pretty ladies that you could possibly ask for in Smexy garb. We're going to the entertainment district, the red light district. Man, he's just big pimpin'. This big rotating sequence, bam, bam, wham, wham, man, that's real good. There are lots of cool little things wandering in the unknown in this district, right? Interesting things going on around you. Different characters with different reactions to it all. Him up above all of that. Various geisha stylized characters. The backgrounds and the screen doors, man, they get the watercolory texture of them right. His history, embracing all the light, pain, and anger. Muzan lurking and becoming a snake woman. And each of those has the pattern on it. So we're going to be in constrained spaces on rooftop. Oh, are there little mice there? What was that? Look at that. There are little mice. Little mices running. What the heck is that? Some beast stuff? I don't know. Yo, Muzan got fucking sexy. That's an embodiment of everything tempting about the red light district as a horrifying devil. Yeah. She's got something new going on here. I don't know what it is, but there are vines and stuff, and that's going to be interesting. You're going to get more of ya boy being a Pikachu. Your boy being a beast, all of them fighting off the various tendrils of Muzan, and your boy himself breathing through and slicing with water. Flipping above the moon, you might say? And what is that? That is a Kizuki. Through, slash, bam. I can't read that. Darn. I don't know which Kizuki that is, but it is a Kizuki. Creepy scythe blades. Maybe somehow related to him or something intrinsic to his path. They both have two blades. It might be something like that. He sits by the grave. There are things that he cares about tradition-wise and in the past. And our characters stand and watch the flashy, flashy fireworks. And do all sorts of cool things with really cool backgrounds. These are really cool. They're these CG spaces so that they become really stark and contrasting. You can move them around as they go, and they create these this depth to the thing. Fire. And that's our setup for the season. Wow! That was really good! That was really good. From putting the idea of Rengoku to rest and speaking to his family, evaluating the father, choosing to strive forward despite failures and despite hardships, and to strive in the right way, in the right direction, taking the time to reevaluate, to rebuild, reintroducing a lot of the characters very effectively, I think, and moving forward. A new Hashira, a new mission, a new location, a new set of enemies, and the same set of enemies, pulling the strings behind it all. Creepy, creepy Muzan turns into a little boy, and then into a hot girl. No! No! No, Muzan, you corrupt everything pure in this world. The purity of children and the purity of pornography. How dare you? Gar. Fidelity and quality of animation. Literally how many pixels are on the screen and how well they function to create a faux reality. Really good. Flow and pace of the episode. Exceptional. Exceptional. Really good. I've watched so many episode 1s over the last few weeks because I've been treasure hunting. I've been watching episode 1 of every show that came out last season. I've watched so many. And they all suck. They all suck compared to this shit. This show's good. Okay. Maybe instead of saying that it's like universally good, it's very high fidelity. There's a lot of effort and budget put into it. And all of that seems to be put into people who are capable of artistic expression in a way that resonates with me. Therefore, I like it. So much easier to say it's good. Means so much less. High budget, aimed in the right direction, I think. Coupled with a story that seems to hit on some fundamental bits and bobs of storytelling and truthiness. I got no complaints. I'm excited. Big thumbs up. And we'll wrap there. Thanks so much for watching. This has been episode 1 of the Demon Slayer Entertainment District arc. Next week, we'll hit up episode 2 and see how we get down in Red Light Town. Peace.